What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. This is Bring the Noise here on Bleacher Report. I'm Danny Kleppinger, joined by Brad Evans. As per usual, we'll give you your last second fantasy football start, sit, boom, bust, or bank picks, give you a little prop action as well today as we go through every single game on the slate. But there was a huge game last night, Brad, and I'll give you a second to celebrate over it as a resident Bears fan.
Yeah, man, I was elated. I was doing backflips in my living room with my two sons, watching the game, and the wife. Mind blowing. I can't believe the Bears actually recovered an onside, A, and then B, the uncorking by Caleb Williams in overtime, and connecting there with, hey, Mr. DJ. I celebrated long into the night. Mas tequila, bear down, DK.
As you should have. Honestly, he knew that was going in. As soon as did you see how he put his hands in his pockets right after he let the ball fly? That was confidence right there.
Supreme confidence. It was an absolute dime. It was unreal. So, all the people that have doubted Caleb Williams, just shut up already. Yeah, he may not be the best quarterback of this class, but he's still a work in progress. And you can occasionally see the brilliance, and it was under the bright lights last night.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's get to what's still to come here. Of course, Sunday and Monday, we're going through every single game. Send in your questions, Brad. We're already getting some right now before we dive into this first game. Diggs or London?
I got to play Drake London. Look, I think that Cardinals and Atlanta Falcons game could be the highest scoring game of this Sunday. I think points are going to be plentiful. I know Drake London's got some accumulated rust and dust, but my God, take advantage of the matchup. London all day.
London or Tet McMillan?
London all day. Rinse and repeat. Next.
Rinse and repeat. Alchemist wants to know Ladd or Egbuka?
I'm going to go Ladd McConkey. It's all about little D. I mean, you look at the Dallas Cowboys, they still really been on the struggle bus when it comes to defending the pass. So give me the McConkey donkey.
Can you just say Dallas?
No, it's little D.
Okay. And on that note, let's get into some of these games, shall we? Bills and the Browns. Brad, you think someone's going to get in the end zone today?
Yeah, it's a Chef Boyardee running backs. It's James Cook, man. He has been dynamite this entire season. A man who got paid. A lot of people thought he was going to take a back seat. Oh, yeah, he's got money in his pocket now. He's just got to go into cruise control. Not the case. He's been a battering ram and a tour de force and a guy that usually scores game in and game out. Cleveland has really struggled in the trenches outside of Myles Garrett. Defended the run. So I think the way to play this same game parlay, give me the Bills and they all spread -6.5, and I'll correlate, synergize, and bring it all together. Give me James Cook. Anytime touchdown, somehow, some way, it's +104 when I built that at BetMGM, please and thank you.
Honestly, I think there's a world where James Cook could get in there twice. That's also pretty up there in plus money territory. I think Dawson Knox will get over 25 receiving yards. He's reached the 25 receiving yard mark in 5 of his last 7 games. Don't react like that. I think he can do it. You don't think so? What was that reaction?
No, I think it's spicy. I entirely think he can do it. It's a low hurdle to get over, and unless he's got the elevation of yours truly or Nikola Jokic, he'll be able to clear it.
Let's get to Chargers and Cowboys because the Chargers obviously have solidified their spot as playoff contenders. Cowboys have faltered against the Lions and the Vikings after it looked like they'd make a playoff push. So what's going to happen in this one, Brad? What's your pick?
I like Omar and Hampton in this game. I know it's a hot hand situation. That's what Harbaugh has said. But I think he's going to have some fiery fingers, DK, in this one. Again, against Little D, a team that is number 20 in rush EPAD since week 10. And, on the season, they've given up at least 20 rush attempts per game to the running back position. So Omar and Hampton over 11.5, balls to the belly at +100, entirely doable. He has done this in 6 of 7 games. He's seen 68.9% of the opportunity share. I think he's a back-end RB2 in 12-team fantasy leagues as well. So give me Hampton. I think he's got a great shot for 60 combined yards and find the end zone as well.
I think Vital's going to have a pretty good game as well. His prop line is set at 34.5, which he hasn't done too much this season, only 5 of 11 games, but the Cowboys run defense, 29th in rushing EPA, allows 5.4 yards per carry. So I think that's a doable prop there in that game. Let's take a look at some of these questions that are rolling in. Alex Rod joins us every week. Do I start Lamar Jackson or bench him and start CJ Stroud or Aaron Rodgers?
Definitely not Aaron Rodgers. CJ Stroud, I think, is going to have a decent game, but how much am you really going to see late in that contest? I got to get some action on Jackson. His words, not mine. I'm feeling better. That's what he said this
Yeah.
week. I believe him. He's run a little bit more. You got to play Lamar. They got a lot on the line today.
At wide receiver, Pickens or Jamison Williams?
JMO, baby. Look, George Pickens, we'll see if he's actually going to maximize effort, snap in and snap out. But Jamison Williams has been unreal. A guy that's obliterating the competition. He's top 10 in total yak. He's top 5 in yards per route run. He's top 3 in yards per catch. Minimum 75 yards. I think he finds the end zone as well. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes over the century mark yet again.
And a couple other ones from, I hate this update, for Ferguson or Waller.
Ferguson, Quinn Ewers, do you really trust him?
Okay,
No.
I actually think Waller's going to get into the end zone today, though, so I will speak up on that one. Chiefs or Broncos defense?
I will go with the Denver Broncos defense. It's a monumental matchup. They're at Mile High. They play differently there at elevation, and you're taking a team from like sea level and playing them up in the Mile High city. Good luck.
Well, let's talk about that Chiefs-Titans game, shall we? Because it's just been disastrous for the Chiefs, not only out of the playoffs, but Patrick Mahomes tears his ACL. What do you think will happen in this one? Do you think they're going to be motivated, and who is going to play well?
Yeah, look, I think Travis Kelce is because he's still chasing history and moving up the ranks in terms of all-time receptions among tight ends and also in yardage as well. So give me the over on 4.5 catches at a plus 105. Little babysitting is about the juice there, DK. And the reason why I really like this bet, Gardner Minshew came in late after Mahomes suffered that devastating knee injury. He threw 5 passes. 1 was to the opposition. 1 was to Rashee Rice. The other 3, Travis Kelce, and Travis Kelce. I only have eyes for Travis. And that's indeed what he will have today. And the Titans stink. So give me Kelce over 4.5 catches.
I think Taylor Swift only has eyes for Travis Kelce as well. You guys have some similarities there, Brad. She's got way more hair than you do, that's for sure.
Yeah,
if you have Cam Ward at this point, why? I think going under 179.5 passing yards today. He's gone under his passing yards prop in 3 straight appearances, and the Chiefs 13th in fewest yards allowed through the air. So I don't think it's going to be a huge game out of the Titans QB there. Let's get to Bengals and Dolphins before we check in on some of these questions. Keep them rolling in. We're monitoring both the Bleacher Report app and our YouTube stream here. Bengals and Dolphins obviously both eliminated from the postseason, but who are you looking at in this one?
Devon Achane, ticket for 125 plus rushing and receiving yards combined, minus 102. So not quite in a plus territory, but still a pretty good valuation on this. I mean, he has done this repeatedly, DK. I believe he's crossed this in 5 of his last 6 games, if I remember correctly. He's averaging 6.2 yards per touch on the season. He's leading the league in yards after contact per attempt. It's the Bungles. Since week 10, they're number 22 in EPA per play defense. I know you got to change a quarterback. It doesn't matter what the game script and how it unfolds, whether between the tackles, check down weapon. Devon Achane must start material in fantasy. He's going to go off again.
Well, I know Brad was saying sit Waller when it was paired up against Ferguson just a moment ago, but I do think Waller could get into the end zone. He's 3rd in red zone targets for the Dolphins, despite only playing 7 games. But the Bengals have given up a league high 15 touchdowns to opposing tight ends this season. So I do think there's opportunity there for him to get 6. Let's check in on some of these questions. Tracy or Esteem? Is it Estime?
No, Estime. Yeah, Audric Estime, the former Golden Domer. This is a really tight one. A lot of people will probably say Tyrone Tracy, but I really like Audric Estime. Why? It's the Jets. Drop the mic.
Drop the mic. Jay Keith, pick 1 wide receiver and 1 flex in a full PPR, okay? Long list of players. Zay Flowers, Mike Evans, Drake London, Chase Brown, or Rico Dowdle.
I'm going to go Mike Evans 1, my cousin. I got all the LinkedIn athleticism in the Evans family, and I'm going to get down with my boy, Chase Brown. Oh, baby. Look, both those guys should be racking the numbers really across the board. Chase Brown has a very high floor because of his activity in the pass game, and Mike Evans was brilliant in his return to the lineup. Must-win situation, monumental game against Carolina. He shows up and shows out.
I know you talked about Estime just a moment ago. There's quite a few questions about him today. Would you play him or Tet?
It's a standard league. I actually may go Estime. I think he's got a pretty high chance of finding the end zone. If it's more of a PPR or half point PPR format, give me Tedero McMillan as his floor maybe 5 grabs today against a rather lousy secondary that is down as well as I'm McCollum for the rest of the season there in Tampa.
Josiah is wondering about McMillan or Evans. So, two guys just talked about. Pick one.
Yeah. Look, both got great floors, but again, give me my cousin. I cannot defy a member of the Evans family.
And let's do start Myers or Cocker at wide receiver 2.
I'll go Jacoby Myers. Look, I don't think he's going to see a whole lot of Patrick Surtain. That's going to be more Brian Thomas. So Myers could be the apple of one Trevor Lawrence's eye. If he gets a whole lot of Riley Moss, he'll rack some catches.
All right, Evan Hull or Chuba Hubbard from Richard.
Really? Give me Chuba Hubbard. Evan Hull? No. Strong pass.
Let's talk about this Jets Saints game because the Saints are trying to keep their momentum rolling in week 16, trying to host the Jets, who are riding a 2-game winning streak. Let's see here. Estime, another play on him, huh?
Yeah, look, I took the over on rush yards at 28.5, but it's jumped into the 40s. That's what we call closing line value, a little CLV there, DK. But I also like him as a receiver. Give me the over on 12.5 for receiving yards. I think he's got a good shot at getting maybe 3 or 4 receptions. He immediately came in the game last week, 3 grabs, over 30 yards for Tyler Shuck. And it's the Jets. They're lousy. They've been bottom feeders in every single defensive category imaginable this season, and they shall continue to be craptastic.
I actually think Chris Olave can have a decent game. 61.5 receiving yards. I think he's going to go over this. He's gone over this number in particular in 6 of his last 9 games. That's pretty good. So Olave to have a big one. Let's keep checking in on this chat, shall we? Were looking at both the Bleacher app and YouTube stream. Gainwell or Warren?
Oh, same guys on the same
Brad,
team there practically. Yeah, look, if it's a PPR format, Gainwell's got the higher floor. If it is a standard format, Warren has a higher floor. If it's in the middle of its half point PPR, I'd probably still go with Warren because I think he's got a higher chance of splashing 6. It's like a modicum of difference, but there is a difference.
Richard wants to know Diggs or Myers.
Give me Stephon Diggs. It's really close. I think it's a coin flip scenario. I'd like Myers to get maybe 4 or 5 grabs. Can he get in the end zone? I think a little bit of higher chance to spike one home for 6 with Stephon Diggs against the Ravens. A pretty big game, really, for both teams in terms of seeding, or in the case of the Ravens, just getting in to the second season.
Judkins or Amarian?
I'm going to go Murray and Hampton over Quinshon Judkins. Quinshon's probably going to out-touch him. You can run on the Buffalo Bills. My issue with anybody Cleveland on the offensive side, they could get buried in that game. They could abandon the run as a result. Amari and Hampton, I think, is going to be in a dogfight against Dallas. And again, I'm taking the over 11.5 rush attempts. If he gets 12 balls a belly, 3 to 4 receptions, you're talking probably at least 65, 70 combined yards and really good shots across the chalk as well.
Let's get into these games some more here. We got to talk Vikings and Giants, both eliminated from postseason contention, but New York and a 3-way tie for the worst record in the league, which means draft picks are at stake. So exciting, Brad, in this one.
Yeah, look, you got to have a reason to watch it. So, maybe you got it for fantasy purposes or some of your sports bets that are out there. A guy that could be sneaky good in this game is Jordan Mason. The Mason block could plow the end zone. Give me him in the anytime touchdown market at plus 200, DK. You look at Mason, he's got 30 red zone touches on the season, in which he is top 30 in that category. He scored 5 times, or at least in 5 games. And the Giants have just been so beatable up front. They're giving up 5.89 yards per carry and 17 total touchdowns only to the running back position. So give me Jordan Mason. Anytime touchdown might chip in like 40, 45 rushing as well. So deeper leagues, you're looking for a flexy, sexy option. He's riding the pine. Consider elevating him into your starting lineup.
You might call me crazy here, but I do think that JJ McCarthy can go over 1.5 passing touchdowns, and it is at plus money. New York allows the third most yards and fourth most points. This could be a time for him to start to get a little bit of momentum and feel what that feels like in this league. Let's get to Tampa Bay and the Panthers because this NFC South race comes to a head here. This one's for the tiebreaker for the division lead, excuse me.
Yeah, and hark the herald angels sing. Go ahead and crank that Christmas classic there in the background because, oh, I love me some Chris Godwin. Took the over 32.5 receiving yards. The dirty worker over the middle, resembling his yesteryear self here last about 2 or 3 games. He's been over this in 2 of the last 3, and you can really take advantage of this Carolina secondary between the hash marks. So whether you're a pass catching tight end or a guy that typically operates out of the slot, they have allowed the 10th most slot yards of a defense this season. So give me Chris Godwin over an oh so low number, DK. That being 32.5 and a lot of WR3 appeal in 12-team fantasy leagues as well.
Get the shoulders working, Brad, because I got a little seduced by the juice on Chuba Hubbard to get into the end zone. Plus 200. Tampa Bay has allowed the most receiving yards and the 5th most receiving touchdowns to opposing running backs. And what happened against the Rams? Oh, he had a receiving touchdown. So I think he can get in there again. I don't care if it's receiving or rushing, but I'm just saying get 6, my friend. Jags and Broncos. Woo, this one's going to be a good one. Bo Nix and the home team, winners of 11 straight games. This is like your team B. Like if it's Chicago Bears, everybody, for Brad, Broncos are team B.
Yeah, I lived in Denver for 7 years. I went to many a game there. I love their color scheme, a little orange and blue. So yeah, and they also have a former ILL standout, Pat Bryant, on the squad. So a lot of reasons why I like the Denver Broncos. However, when you strange, cue that classic Doors cut in the background. I like Britton Strange over 36.5 receiving yards in this one at a minus 115. The one area of vulnerability defensively for Denver is over the middle of the field against pass catching tight ends. They're giving up 64.1 yards per game to the tight end position. Strange has done this in 4 of the last 7. He's a true blue X factor for Jacksonville. The only way they're going to remain competitive in this game is if Strange goes for at least 50, and I think he will.
I think RJ Harvey will get into the end zone. He scored 4 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. Jaguars have allowed a running back to score in each of their last 2 games, 3 of their last 4, and he just far and away leads the Broncos in red zone touches. It's not even close. So for him to get in the end zone, not juicy, but still exciting if he's on your fantasy lineup. Speaking of your lineups, let's check in on your questions. Shuck or JJ McCarthy?
Oh, goodness. JJ McCarthy or Shook. I tell you what, if JJ McCarthy cannot get it done this week, just fire his value into the sun. I'll go with JJ McCarthy, but it's going to be oh so close between him and, of all people, Tyler Shook.
Call Me Co wants to know Keenan Allen or Algier.
I'll go Keenan Allen. Again, take advantage of the matchup. You got the Chargers going against that sorrowful secondary at Dallas. Keenan Allen could have a renaissance of sorts, something like 5 for 65, possible touchdown. Yeah, give me the bearded wide receiver.
Curious if you're going to sing on this one. Dowdle or Judkins?
Oh, Rico Arena Dowdle. Yeah, I'm going to go Rico Dowdle, of course. I think he's got a great shot of going for like 70 yards and a touchdown. I like the matchup there for Judkins on paper. Again, I just worry about the game flow and the game script. Buffalo could come out and obliterate Cleveland, and Judkins standing there on the sidelines not doing jack nor squat.
Austin wants to know Wan'Dale Robinson or Justin Jefferson.
Wan'Dale, and Justin Jefferson, every week we're like, this is the week he's going to snap out of the funk. This is the week he's going to get it done. And every week, this is another week he let you down. I think Wan'Dale actually has a higher ceiling than Justin Jefferson in just a lost year for one of the dynamite talents at wide receiver in the NFL.
What about Dak or Dart? That question just came in.
Ooh, really close. I think both these guys going to be top 10 in fantasy this week, but slight lean to Jackson Dart because of the rushing appeal. You just pray that his head doesn't get knocked yet again. Take care of himself. Slide, Jackson. Get your ass out of bounds, Jackson. Protect yourself, but he's going to go for at least probably 215, a touchdown through the air, and I'll say a minimum of 30 on the ground and a shot to score the legs as well.
Let's keep diving into this slate that we have today, a battle of the birds and Falcons and Cardinals. What do you think will happen in this one?
Yeah, I think it's in the conversation for highest scoring game on
Mhm.
Sunday. So as a result, give me Captain Kirk. We're going to blast off with him on the over 1.5 passing touchdowns. More plus money at a plus 112. And a guy that I think has got some, top 15 quarterback appeal in fantasy. Why? The Desert Birds are a disaster defensively. Number 30 in drop back EPAD since week 10. For the last 5 games, they've allowed a multi-TD passer, and Cousins have done this into a 4. Plus, he's got Drake London back.
Mhm.
So defense highly optional in the Battle of the Birds. Give me Kirk Cousins on the over 1.5 pass CDs at plus 112.
And if you have Michael Wilson, if you've picked him up, he's been great lately. Over the
Awesome.
last five
Yes.
games, 3 touchdowns, not to mention 535 yards, obviously becoming a primary target for that Cardinals offense. So I think he gets into the end zone. That's at plus 125 if you take that prop. So
Yeah.
let's get to the next one, Steelers and the Lions. This is one of the featured games on this slate. It's going to be a fun one. What do you think, Brad?
I'm all about Jamison Williams. Take a shot at Jamison, folks. Catch a buzz and rack the points, because all he does is rack the yak. I know Pittsburgh is number 12 in dropback KPA defense since week 10, but they allowed the 7th most wide receiver yards on the season. A dozen WRs have gone over the 69.5 nice receiving yards. That is a line. I'm going to go way over that. I may ladder it as well. Take him at the standard line, the 80-yard mark, the 90-yard mark. I think he could cross 100 yards yet again. He's gone over this prop in 5 of his last 6. He's number 3 in the NFL in yards per catch at 18 flat. Jamison Williams goes nuts again. Congratulations to Starman Fantasy.
I have another end zone pick today. Jalen Warren to get into the end zone this time. I realized the Lions at one point were really good at avoiding rushing touchdowns. That's not what's been happening recently. Kyron
Not
Williams,
anymore.
2 scores. Blake Corum got a touchdown last week. And you've got Jalen Warren, who's already got 6 touchdowns this season, and it's at plus 150. Guys, I'm giving you some juice here. Let's get through one more game. We'll check back in on these questions. Keep them rolling in. We're looking at both the Bleacher Report app and the YouTube stream here. Raiders and Texans. Texans trying to extend their winning streak to 7 games. Brad, who's getting in the end zone?
Nico Collins, again, scored a pair of touchdowns last week. I think he's going to extend that streak this week. Anytime touchdown a plus 110. Are you kidding me? Take my money, bet MGM. Take it. And they did, because they look at Vegas. They're number 26 in dropback EPAD since week 10. They've given up 16 wide receiver touchdowns this season. Nico's a guy, he's number 5 in total red zone targets. Remember, he missed a few games earlier this year. So put all together, Nico Collins, he'll spike one home. This game is going to be a blowout, TK. The
Yeah.
Raiders are atrocious. Send them to Saskatchewan.
Right. So if you have CJ Stroud in your lineup, kudos. Also, I do think he can go over 228 and a half passing yards in this game. Brad just talked about it. I mean, it's a tough matchup for the Raiders here. Stroud's gone over this line in 6 of 11, but the Raiders give up 221 and a half yards per game to opposing quarterbacks. Get that that's just slightly lower than this number, but I just think that the way that he has been playing, CJ Stroud's completed 76% of his passes for 260 yards and 3 touchdowns last week against the Cardinals. He is rolling. Okay, let's check back in on these chats. Brad, let's get rapid fire through a lot of these. Fannin or Ferguson?
Fannin, I think he's going to catch at least 5 balls.
Waddle or Wandale Robinson for Kirk?
Bro, Quinn Ewers, Wandale.
Let's see here. T. Higgins, Drake London, or Michael Wilson for a wide receiver 2.
Oh, all phenomenal options. Kind of like T. Higgins, but I'm going to go Drake London.
Okay. If Drake London plays, Michael Carter or Keenan Allen at flex PPR?
If Drake London plays, Michael Carter or Keenan Allen, I'll go with the guaranteed volume here and Michael Carter.
T or Sutton. Let's start there. T or Sutton. There's multiple questions in one. Sometimes you guys throw me. We got to use some grammatical things in here to separate them. So T or Sutton.
Yeah, people need Grammarly in their lives. Have a spot of tea, DK. Give me Higgins.
And also in that question, Woody or Brees?
Give me Woody.
Okay. McMillan or Sutton?
Wow, really close here. McMillan or Sutton. They pulled out of here so proud. Give me McMillan.
Jacoby Brissett or Joe Burrow? Coach T wants to know.
Both phenomenal options, both QB1 options, but Joe Burrow takes the cake.
Buzzbomb wants to know Lamar Jackson or Bo Nix.
Lamar Jackson, really, brah?
What about another quarterback question here? JJ McCarthy or Brock Purdy?
Brock Purdy in a romp.
I have a defensive question here from D Loggins. Miami or New England's defense?
Miami or New England? Definitely not Miami, so I guess we got to go New England.
We're about 35 minutes away from kickoff at this point. We've got 2 games left on the slate to talk about. So get your final questions in so that you can be set for your week 16. We're looking at both the Bleacher Report app and on YouTube stream. Let's talk about this Patriots-Ravens game, shall we? 2 teams in a battle to win their respective divisions. Sunday Night Football. It's going to be a fun one, Brad. What prop are you looking at?
I'm looking at the same game parlay on a pair of running backs in the red, white, and blue. So let's fire off the muskets on 2 Patriots. Trevion Henderson at 45 plus rush yards and Ramondre Stevenson 10 plus receiving yards. They get you to a plus 105 juice. You look at Trevion, he's got at least 11 rush attempts in 7 straight games, and over his last 5 games, he's numero tres the entire NFL in yards after contact per attempt. I know Baltimore's number 1 in rush EPAD over the last handful of games, but I like Trevion to bust loose and get at least 45 yards on the ground. And Stevenson, I feel, is going to catch at least a couple of balls, and he'll get to 10 receiving yards, in which he has done in 3 of the last 4. So to recap, same game parlay. Trevion Henderson, 45 plus rush yards. Ramondre Stevenson, 10 plus receiving yards, plus 105 on that bad boy, DK.
Yeah, that was a heavy argument there for that 2-leg parlay. I like it. I think Derrick Henry can go over 80. It's 79 and a half. So 80 rushing yards. He's had 6 games with at least 80 rushing yards this season, including his last 2 where he's got over 194 yards on just 36 carries. I think they lean on him a lot in this game. All right, finally, we've got one more game to get to, Brad. It's our Monday Night Football matchup. It's San Francisco 49ers, the Indianapolis Colts. You hated quite a bit on the old man, Phillip Rivers, last week. Did he impress you?
In a way, he did. He wasn't quite a full raging Rivers, but he completed 66.7% of his attempts for a $120, a touchdown, and that last throw went for a pick. I think it's going to be a little bit better, operating exclusively in shotgun. Give me the over 157.5 pass yards against a soft San Francisco D, which has largely been outside the top 20 in dropback EPAD all season long. So Philly Rivers, this could be for like a $175, maybe 1 or 2 passing touchdowns. DK, us 40 somethings, which is warming up.
It's funny. He's making everybody a believer. Everybody that is on these broadcasting sets are like, I can do that too. I can be subbed in.
That's right.
All right, let's get to these final questions here on YouTube and the Bleacher Report app. We are approaching 30 minutes until kickoff here. Jay Medina, please. Bucky or Trevion?
Ooh, really close to Trevion. Bucky Irving, is he going to get sniped again by Sean Tucker at the goal line? That's my concern. You know what? Give me Henderson.
What about, okay, so full PPR is Kittle at tight end. Should he do Pitts, Hampton, or Tet at flex?
How can he bitch Kyle Pitts after the annihilation that he issued last week? Obviously he's not going to have repeated success, but could he go for like 50, 60 and a touch? Entirely on the table. Give me Pitts.
Chuba Hubbard or Evan Hull?
Yuck. Really? I hope you're like in an 18 or 20 team league, because this is puke inducing. It's not Evan Hull. I go the other direction.
Diggs or Myers?
Jacoby.
All right, we got a couple more here. We'll do this as we approach 30 minutes till kickoff. Purdy or Herbert?
Ooh, really close. Justin Herbert.
Woody Marks, Lad McConkey, or Wan'Dale Robinson?
I'll go the McConkey donkey.
Okay. A flex in PPR, Gainwell, Egbuka, or Pittman?
Not Pittman. PPR, honestly, the higher floor is with Kenneth Gainwell.
What about Metcalf, Sutton, or Michael Wilson? Who doesn't make the cut?
Sutton. Adios.
Full PPR, start two, Judkins, Hampton, Tracy, Aaron Jones, or Michael Carter.
I'm going to go with Hampton and Aaron Jones. Again, I just don't trust the game script with Cleveland.
Trey's 1096 also has said thanks and best of luck to everyone. We love that mentality here on this beautiful Sunday. Warren or Evans, half PPR.
Oh, Evans, all day.
Uh, and let's one here from Alex Rod once again. Estime, Hollywood Brown, or Michael Carter.
I can't believe it. Audric Estime. We have reached week 17.
No kidding. That's crazy. Thanks everybody for your questions. This is going to be a fun week 16. Excited to see what happens this weekend, today into Monday. Thanks so much for hanging out with us every single week. We'll be here next Sunday as well. Brad, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to all of you, and we'll see you next Sunday.